So students of 9th class, in the video 18th, we are going to study the chapter 7, that is the medieval India or the Chola rulers. Now why we have given the name of the chapter medieval India? Because respectively we are studying about northern India and southern India. In the last 2-3 chapters we studied about the Guptas, the Mauryans, and so on. That was took place in the central part or northern part of India. And then we also studied the ancient period, that is uh, the Sangam age, in which we studied about the social and political life of the people of southern India in the ancient time. And now we are entering into medieval period. What was India in the southern part during the medieval period or the Middle Ages? Students, we have a syllabus here given by the new ICSE syllabus. So we have sources, and then we have another source. uh, we have inscriptions. Then we have Brideshwar temple, and we are going to study the administration, not the political history, but the administration of Rajaraja 1 and Rajaraja 2. Okay, students. So let's begin. Your syllabus says that southern part of Indian peninsula, okay, situated south of Krishna river, was inhabited by the Dravidians. And students, when we started our study, I gave you introduction that the Dravidians used to live in northern part of India. And after the attack of Aryans, they shifted themselves to the deeper into the central part of India, and further they shifted themselves to southern part of India. Okay, and you know what is the meaning peninsula? So this is a map of India. Okay, so the Chola ruler had been prominent. There were Cheras, Pandyas, Pallavas, Rashtrakutas, Palas, but Cholas had been prominent. That's why we are going to study about the Chola rulers. They had their own language and culture. This region was home to three powerful kingdoms: the Cheras, the Pandyas, and the Cholas. The most of them were the Cholas. The Cholas Empire, which arose in century, brought under its control a large part of the peninsula, as we have seen in the map, some 3-4 kingdoms. The Chola developed a powerful navy which enabled them to develop India's sea trade in the Indian Ocean and conquer Sri Lanka and Maldives Islands. Okay, and then the Cholas defeated the Pallavas of Kanchi and weakened the Pandyas, bringing the Tamil country under their control. So, students, we have the sources, we have the main source of information for the history of the Chola period is large number of inscription of that period. Conceived the idea of prefixing to his inscription the main achievements of his reign. That is Raja 1. The examples of Raja 1 was followed by his successor as well. Now, what the inscription says? The inscription of the Cholas are in the form of copper plates, that's copper plate grants, stone inscriptions, and inscriptions made on the walls and the pillars of the temples. The copper plate grants known as Anbil and Krandi, as well as the Kanyakumari stones inscription, give long list of rulers indicating the origin of the Chola dynasty. Another set of copper plates contains 31 copper sheets. So these plates are written in Sanskrit and Tamil. They record a grant made by to a temple by Rajendra Chola. And then the inscription provide Now, what is the useful for this inscription are? They tell us about the Cholas administration. For example, the Uttaramayur inscription gives information on the village administration and taxation and land revenue. They record gifts and endowments to temples and brahmanas. Copper plates inscriptions are the records of grants of village, plots of land, or the other privileges to individuals, institutions by the Cholas. For example, the Leiden grant, so called as they are preserved in the Museum of Leiden in Holland, or Pratanka Chola, and those of Uttama Cholas are among the most important. They inform us about the construction of a temple or the setting up of a new image of the deity. Some inscriptions have royal orders on taxation and land revenue, resolution of village assemblies, judgments delivered against persons guilty of theft, murder, and other incomes. Inscriptions on temples walls served purpose of public registration such as the record of sales, mortgages, and other forms of transfers of property rights in village lands. So that was all about the inscription giving us information about the Chola rulers. In the next part, we shall study the Brideshwar temple and the administration of Cholas.